So it happened. Saquon Barkley did not agree to a contract with the New York Giants, and ultimately, as time rolls on and as things are coming out, I'm just getting to that point where I'm still upset. I'm not gonna lie. I went to work wearing a Saquon jersey. Vibes were good. I just ultimately felt like there was no way the Giants were not gonna agree to a contract and get Saquon assigned to a contract, and I was shocked. I'm gonna be real. Like, my day was literally like almost ruined because Saquon Barkley, obviously the fan of me, number one player on this team, and he's my favorite player overall. I really wanted the Giants to draft him coming out of Penn State, and I just needed an electric player because this team was just so dull, and I just felt like we needed someone that was going to be able to step in and change the dynamic of this team, and he did so. He got hurt, came back, balled out this past season, and I really thought he was going to get his money. I really thought he was, and he still could have and still will. He's going to play under the franchise tag at $10.1 million. And we look at the rest of the landscape for the running backs. If they're making $10 million, that's a good deal because ain't nobody else getting $10 million right now. It's really tough for these running backs, and that's the big topic that's been going on. But when we keep it looking at the Saquon and the Giants, while we keep looking at Saquon and the Giants and overall why this didn't pan out, we know Saquon Barkley was offered over $12 million by the bye week. We know that was already put out there. Saquon Barkley declined it. He wanted to bet on himself. He thought he would be able to get more, and the running back market declined. Wasn't able to get anything. So for a while, New York wasn't gonna give more than what they already offered. Then the deal was put back on the table. Deal wasn't put back on the table. Guaranteed money was a big thing, and now it's starting to come out that the Giants offered $11 million. $11 million, one more than the $10 million franchise tag. So at the end of the day, it was more. $22 million over 2 years. That's what it's coming out reported to. Saquon wanted a little bit more. They said they were within $1 or $2 million far apart, and they were like that for a while. License plate guy, if you were watching Twitter, license plate guy was over here saying that it was going to happen, and he had me. I'm not going to lie. You know, he's not a reporter, but we know that he has a lot of inside details, and he was like, it's going to happen, and it didn't. It fell through right at the last second, and if you know me, you know I was talking about how Daniel Jones, right at the buzzer beater, got his deal. So I definitely thought that Saquon was going to get his money. I thought there was no way that we were going to pass this deadline without this happening. And overall was the main reason why I wanted it to happen was so the other players don't feel disrespected. Saquon Barkley was a cornerstone. Still is, because ultimately he still is a New York Giant. But it just feels different now. It just does. Saquon Barkley was a really great player for us and is a great player for us. A great player off the field. Did everything correctly. He got hurt. That definitely hurts his value a little bit. But other than that, there was nothing he did that makes you warrant that you wouldn't want to sign Saquon Barkley back on this team. There's nothing other than paying a running back. That's the only thing that puts you away from signing a running back and signing Saquon Barkley. So with that being said, we still went out there. He's going to play under the franchise tag. And I was worried about the locker room overall. I was genuinely worried about, how is the rest of the team going to take this, knowing that if he can't get his money, how am I supposed to get my money? You're seeing guys like Dexter Lawrence still get paid, Daniel Jones, and please do not make this about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones took the money and Saquon Barkley's not able to get any of that's not a debate. That's a whole separate debate. If you want to talk about that, I have another video talking about that. Daniel Jones is not the reason why Saquon Barkley didn't get this money. If it's up to me, Saquon should have took that deal by the bye week. We all don't have hindsight, of course. We don't know what the market was going to be. But Saquon Barkley should have took that deal way back then. Should have took that deal before Daniel Jones got his contract, because they did offer him a contract and he said no. Kept trying to get more. Is it on him 100%? No. Players have agents that represent them for a reason. Starts to settle in more. Financially, this was the best move for the Giants. 1 year deal, $10 million. Go ahead and produce for us. And it's cutthroat. It's business, because ultimately the terrible part is that Saquon can go out there, have an injury, and after he has that injury, you're not going to see a contract again, at least from the Giants. I'm sorry. It's tough. It's really cutthroat. I hate it, but that's why I think he should have took that 2-year deal, got a little bit more security out of it, and at least he's going to be here for this year and next year. And I already made a video, a quick reaction that I dropped earlier yesterday, and I genuinely feel like this is the last year that you'll see Saquon Barkley in the Giants uniform. I don't see it crossing out anymore, because the biggest reason is that Saquon Barkley is going to be a year older. You're going to have more miles on those legs. And if they weren't willing to give a contract this past season, what makes you think after another season, after another year of being older, that the New York Giants are going to go, hey, here's your contract? I just don't see it happening. Like I said, man, Saquon Barkley playing under the franchise tag. He says he's not going to report to camp. He says he might hold out. I don't imagine him holding out because he has way too much at stake to hold out. One, you're about to be 26, turning 27. You're missing a prime year of your years. You can't do that. Like, do not sit out for this whatever. And then ultimately, if you really still want to go get that contract, you're not going to turn down $10 million from this franchise tag, and you're also not going to sit out. That's not going to hurt. That's not going to help your value at all. You know, I understand leverage is still a thing, but ultimately it's a done deal. You're going to play under the franchise tag or you're not going to play. Like, there's nothing else to it. So, you know, I don't expect him to visit camp because he doesn't have to sign it. If he didn't sign it and he misses camp, he's not going to get fined for it. But past that, I definitely think he's going to be there for week 1. There's no reason for me to think not to. And ultimately, when you think about who Saquon Barkley is, he's one that wants to be the best running back when it's all said and done. And jury's still out on that. Of course, there's certain topics and certain people feel some way about him. But ultimately, you're not going to do that if you set out, so we know that's not going to happen. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen overall with Darren Waller, Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley. You know, it does leave a bad taste in your mouth overall because, once again, no one's happy about this. Like, maybe the Giants front office is a little bit, but no one's happy about this because then we also have to look at it like, why didn't Saquon take the money? We got to look at it that way too, as much as we look at Giants being messed up because Saquon Barkley is the engine. I'm seeing a lot, Saquon Barkley is the engine of this offense, so on and so forth. Come on, man. We all know a running back is not as important as a quarterback. We all know that. And I know a lot of the running backs are speaking out now. You've seen Austin Eckler, you've seen Derrick Henry, you've seen Christian McCaffrey. I understand all of that because the person side of it, of course, I want him to get his bag. But salary cap is a thing. And sadly, running backs just don't get paid as much as any other player, even though they're very important. It sucks. There's nothing I can do about it, though. I can tell you there's nothing that these other teams haven't done about it overall. And granted, there's always a time and a place to make a stand. But I find it very funny when the Giants do it, all eyes are on them. But when Le'Veon Bell was going through it, ain't nobody was really thinking about it as much. Of course, we still wanted them to get their money, but I feel like it wasn't that big of a topic compared to now. Comment down below your thoughts on it, man. I'm going to have a video on Eric Gray because, you know, right now he might be running back 1 with Saquon Barkley not under contract technically. So I'm going to have a video talking about that, and I just can't wait for training camp to start because there's going to be more topics to talk about. But y'all let me know how y'all feel. Subscribe. Road to 10K is still active, man. If you haven't seen my other ones, I got more videos to my left right here. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.